Hi! I haven't made a video in a while, but I thought I'd make a new one because my husband and I are embarking on a new adventure. It's something we've been working on for a couple of years now. My first video that I posted on this channel about 3.5 years ago was my husband's retirement and us buying a house for the very first time ever. And I posted several videos of painting the house and doing refurnishing furniture and doing a lot of things to make this house feel like it's ours and it's our home. This was our first house, as we had always lived in parsonages or rental homes before. And I honestly thought that this was our forever home. But when I asked my husband if he could finally tell me that I never had to move again, he surprised me and he said no. And I was not happy to hear that. I really wanted him to tell me we were never going to move again. But he really wanted to live in the country. He was raised on a farm, and that's someplace he wanted to go back to. He said to me, "Look out the window, you see that house over there?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I don't want to see that." So I began thinking about it because honestly, I've always wanted to live in the country. I've never lived in the country. I never experienced any kind of farm life or anything like that. I mean, he just didn't tell me. We both decided and worked toward being able to live out in the country. His dad has a farm. It's the same farm where my husband grew up. His dad still has it, and we were working toward being able to put a house out on that property. Now, early on in our marriage, my husband has always been a pastor through our entire married life. Early on in our marriage, when our kids were small, we made a very difficult and large decision that inevitably would help this dream come true. When we'd been married about 5 years and had 2 small children, we decided to leave the denomination that we grew up in, the General Baptist Church, and my husband decided to become a United Methodist pastor. And we did that because the General Baptist denomination where we were didn't have a whole lot of opportunities for full-time pastors, and my husband truly felt like he was called to be full-time in ministry. And so we made that decision based on the fact that the United Methodist Church had more opportunities for full-time appointments, and it also had a retirement system. And Mike was right about 30 years old when we did this, and we were really, thinking about our future. And so we took a lot of blowback about that because at the time there were many young pastors in the General Baptist denomination who were leaving, and the people who remained were sad to see them go, and I get that. But we had to do what was right for us at the time, and it has made all the difference for us. We are only able to buy a house because of the fact that we changed denominations. It had nothing to do with money. It didn't pay more. We decided when we were married, we made a commitment to live a simple life. We knew we would never get rich. We knew we would never have a big house and fancy, expensive cars or anything like that. We made that decision to live a life that we felt like was serving others and serving God. And that was our intention through our whole lives up until this very day. My husband's mother and my mother had been United Methodist, or had been Methodist when they were young. And so it seemed almost like we were just going back home when we joined the United Methodist denomination. But being a United Methodist did give us more choices in retirement and more opportunities for owning a home and having something for us to live in retirement. So since the day he told me that he wanted to live in the country, We spent a couple of years discussing, making plans, having multiple chats with a contractor, and we looked at modular manufactured homes. We changed our minds. We came up with new plans. We started over and on and on and on. And we finally settled for a house plan that I came up with that was 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a ranch. And we took that to the contractor we'd been meeting with, and we asked him for an estimate to build that house somewhere on his dad's acreage. When we got that itemized estimate back, that was something beyond what we expected and beyond what we could afford. So we had to kind of go back and think again. We went back to the modular home place, and they were having a sale on display models. And so we looked at a particular, I don't know if you know the difference between the modular and the manufactured homes, but the modular homes are built in a factory, but they're built just like a regular stick-built house from scratch. They're built to local code, and the manufactured homes, what we kind of consider more to be like what we would call trailers, although they're really nicer than a trailer, but they are built to federal guidelines. And so the modular homes are built more like a house that you would build on the land. It's just not built there. It's built somewhere else, and then they pull it out there and put it together. So there are all kinds of modular homes. Some can be really big. They can come in many pieces, more than just 2. But ours was a display model, and we chose it because it was on sale, and it was going to be much more in our affordability range. And it was brought out. I don't think it's been 2 weeks yet that it was taken out to the property and set on its foundation. So now they are working on, once you move a modular home, you have cracks and some issues because you're driving a home down the road. So they put it together. They put the 2 pieces together with a crane. They set it on the foundation. They secure it, and then they put all the siding back together on the outside and on the inside. They make sure there's, anything that's been cracked or damaged, they fix it. And they told us that it would probably be a couple of weeks. So we have our moving date is set October 22nd. Now, this house that I'm sitting in right now is our current house that we bought 3.5 years ago. And I tell you, selling a house is much different than buying a house. And I hope I never have to sell another house. I'll just put it that way. And really, we've probably had best case scenario. We put it on the market, and the first people who looked at it made an offer. We didn't get as much as we thought we were going to get out of it. And so we were basically not making any money off this house that we've owned for a little over 3 years, which I guess is, I don't know, maybe that's normal. I was hoping we would make a little money on it, but we've had to put some money into it, and we did a lot to this house. We painted just about every room. We hired somebody to paint the ceilings. We bought new appliances. We did everything we could to make this house appealing to a new buyer. So as far as putting money into it to get it to sell quicker, that did happen. But we didn't feel like we were able to get as much out of it as we hoped we could. Anyway, this house is sold. Our closing date is November 3rd. It's already had all the inspections and all the requests and repairs have been made. So basically we're just waiting to move on the 22nd, and then we'll clean this house out and it'll go to the new buyers. So we're very excited about this new chapter in our life. We're very happy. I am looking forward to living in the country. I'm going to have my own small office room besides the 3 bedrooms. So it's a 3-bedroom house plus the plus the flex room, which has been made into an office. I'm really excited about that. You know, I was excited about being able to choose all my own finishes and, you know, light fixtures and all that, but it got to be so overwhelming for me that I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to do a good job because I really didn't know anything about it, about the layout of a house, or, you know, how much room you need for this or that. And I really didn't have any help in that area. So it was a big relief when I stood in that modular home and I looked around and I said, you know, we like this and we could live here. And then part of me said, but you don't get to choose everything. And right back, I got an answer from my head that said, and you don't have to choose anything. So I'm excited about that. There are things we can change. We don't have to keep everything just as it is, but I think I'm going to be happy with it the way it is at first. And I'll just be happy that I'm not required to paint or repair or do anything to it. I can just move into it and we can just start living our country life. So I'm hoping to make more videos about what it's like for someone like me who's never lived in the country to now be retiring in the country, and how that's gonna work. You know, am I gonna love it? Am I gonna hate it? I don't know. I think that I'm going to love it. I don't think that I'm gonna have any problems living out there. I know I'm gonna have to kind of think ahead more when it comes to groceries and things. We don't have a Walmart just a couple blocks away like we do now. So all of that is going to be just a different mindset. I'm looking forward to the peacefulness. I'm looking forward to the quiet. I'm looking forward to wildflowers and, you know, sunshine and relaxation. That's what I'm looking forward to. So if you followed me this far, I hope you will stay with me and we can go on this journey together.